I'm live on Facebook. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Empowerment Moments. A minute beforehand, but that's because I am believing that 2022, I'm calling it, I'm milking every bit of 2022. So I'm Dr. G, and I am the proud parent of Nicholas, who was the inspiration behind my goal. And also, okay, I can't forget the other girls because they will. I call my older daughter today, and I'm like, "You're how are you doing, my favorite older daughter?" And she says, "Why? Do you have any other older daughters that you know about?" So I shout out to Senna and of course to Delali, who keeps me busy. That I have a few folks here joining me inside the Zoom room. So I posted a link on my WhatsApp status. So if you're out there, please join us in the Zoom room. If not, you're watching us on Facebook or if you're catching us later on YouTube. I just want to say thank you so much for being here with us. I am so excited because 2022 is rounding down. Hi, Karen. Thank you for joining in. You're welcome. I'm so happy to have you be a part of us tonight. And then, of course, I'm here with one of my favorite artists. Because she's going to be telling you a little bit about herself and her work and some really great stuff that we're going to have installed for us sooner than later. But I am just excited because the year started off with a bang. And so I have Janelle here with me. So we're going to be checking in with you, Janelle, in a few minutes as well. But I just want to thank everybody who has been watching us or who have been a part of my journey and my walk. I love you. I appreciate you. You're just simply the best. Thank you so much for encouraging us, praying for us. The premise of how my goal got started was just simply to really form a community. And it's a form of community where we can encourage and support and pray for each other because life has its turns and ups and downs. And the other day I was just reflecting on how incredibly blessed I feel. And I feel blessed because with every challenge that I encounter, I discover that God sends angels. God sends angels to be a part of our life. Every encounter that we have, God sends angels. I don't know if you're watching me and you understand what I'm saying. The bottom line is this. There's a reason for wherever you're going through. And I have to say the month of December started off with like a bang. I had just, my husband and I just celebrating 25 years of marriage. And, in that plus, and it's 25 years of, our wedding anniversary. But we did our engagement prior to that, and our engagement is our traditional marriage. So total more 26, but the legal component of it is 25. And so for some of you who've been wondering, is it 25 or all I know is I hit 25 and I'm like, whoa, this is a milestone. It is a milestone because it's not been easy. You see us celebrating, high-fiving. Sometimes we get mad at each other too. And, the scripture says, don't go to bed, get angry. Right? So I've always said, well, what if it's at night and you get angry with each other? Do you just keep watching, stay up to morning? No, you go to sleep and then in the morning you dress it so that you don't kill each other. No, I'm so incredibly blessed to be married to this amazing man, and 25 years. So we took some few days away and went out of the country for a few days. And I won't talk about my destination, but it was amazing. Only to walk in and I felt like I walked back into hell. When it's just like, so I'm a Christian and we always talk about the mountain experience and the valley experience. And just when you think you're just having a good time, there's going to be something that's going to be coming right at you. And if you're not prepared, so all I'm saying is enjoy the highs When you have a high moment, milk every minute of it, because you just never know what's coming right at the tail end of it. And so I was able to really like draw onto people who have been such a blessing to me. So yes, Lola, they welcome and Precious. Thank you for joining in. Enjoy the highs. So if you're watching me on Facebook, I want you to type in enjoy the highs. Enjoy it, celebrate it, move in it, milk it for all it's worth. And somebody's like, why are you getting excited about something so simple? As simple as it is, if it's enjoyable, enjoy every morsel of it. I know the holidays is coming and some of us are going to enjoy eating our cookies and enjoy every bit. As you're eating and you're like, good. Because when the last morsel is gone, you just never know what's coming at you. And that period of enjoyment is going to carry you into the next piece. I have some folks that I have in the room, and I know I was going to throw out a couple of questions for people to answer. And one of my guests that I brought, I told her earlier, I'm like, I usually have a text of what I'm going to talk about. And then I get in here and then I can go tangential and just start talking about something else. And so I'm just really led by the Holy Spirit to just say this. We're in a season of celebration and a season of joy. But in the midst of the celebration and the joy, we also have people who are mourning, right? And so you have it as mixed. And one of my favorite pastors, his name is Pastor Rick Warren. I once heard him talk about life is like a parallel, like you're on two trains that are going in at the same time. The train that's full of goodies and the train that has challenges. And both are happening at the same time. And oftentimes we think, oh, it's only the good and then the bad. But both are kind of happening at the same time. It just seems like sometimes one is highlighted more than the other. And so the point here is that even in the midst of challenges, if you look outside, you're going to see that there is some good, positive things happening at the same time. It's the choice of what you're going to allow your eyes to focus on. It doesn't mean that the challenges are not going to be overwhelming, but just that sometimes you feel the weight more. Right. And so a lot of people have said, oh, I haven't seen you lately. And I'm just been saying to them, well, let me tell you, the season where it felt like I was carrying 100-pound elephant on my back has been this year. But I didn't allow that to take away from, I'm like, honey, it's 25 years and we need to celebrate. And when I tell you, it was amazing. Okay, so I don't know how to swim. I'm going to put it out there. I'm a Black woman who puts her hair in the water, and I'm thinking I'm going to look completely different than one before I went in there. So I go into this water. My husband knows how to swim. And he's like, babe, I have a life jacket on. You think it will be enough for me to relax? No. We get into the middle of ocean. He goes, jump in the water and snorkel. Oh, no, that's not happening. But I share that because in the midst of sitting in the middle of the ocean, just seeing the beauty of life, I was able to appreciate that despite the challenges of what was going on around me, and it's not because of family or anything like that, but it's just some challenges that was surrounding transitioning Nick. And you hear more about that. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to put it out there to hold myself accountable, right? About the journey in this season of life that has been incredibly challenging, but I have discovered the power of prayer, the power of resiliency, and I've also discovered the importance of celebrating the highs. So in this few days that we were out in the ocean and everywhere else, I was able to take in a deep breath and appreciate that I have life, appreciate that I have breath, appreciate that I have friends, appreciate that I have family, appreciate that there is a God who sees me, knows me, who believes in me, who loves me. And I was able to take that in. So I'm being very vulnerable and transparent in saying that I almost missed the opportunity to say, despite the challenges around me, that I needed to celebrate a milestone. So what I'm saying here is, as you're grounding down to 2022, it is so easy to look at what has not what you have not been able to accomplish yet, or things that has not happened. and miss the fact that you still have more days, some days left, and miss the fact that you have been able to survive. If you're standing, if you're sitting, if you're lying down, God has brought you through. So it is a cause to celebrate. It's a cause to rejoice. It's a cause to be thankful. And no matter what has happened or is yet to happen, believe that there is more to come. There is more to come. So I have been all over the place, and that's because I get on here and I get all excited because I am so eternally grateful for being able to have people who has been the source of encouragement, the source of empowerment. And those individuals are the families. I look at people who are going through it and they're going through such hard times. And I'm like, Genevieve, you have no reason to complain. You have been blessed, no matter what. And when I talk about challenges, I'm talking about the fact that when people don't do what they're supposed to do, or people try to take away the rights and the things that you're entitled to, our individuals' rights are taken away. It's painful to watch. And so that the advocacy in me comes out, the mom in me roars out. And in this past 1 month, I have discovered the art of just being still and listen and wait and then move. So a part of what I wanted to share tonight is I want you to take heart that whatever is facing you, whatever the challenges that have come, and whatever opportunities have also come, God has positioned both before you, and He's going to give you the grace to get through it. So I want you to take this time as an opportunity to say, I'm going to take risk. I will take risk. I will take chances. I'm not going to allow the past mistakes to prevent me from moving forward. I'm not going to let it. I'm going to just take risk. Now, I'm talking to myself now as I'm saying this, because when my husband and I went on this speedboat because he loves water. I don't have the same love for water the same way he does. So we're sitting in this thing and he's going fast and the ocean is like, ooh. And instead of like opening my eyes to enjoy it, I was so busy closing my eyes that I almost missed the beauty around me until he just, at one point I said, can you slow down? He did. And he slowed down enough for me to take in a deep breath. And then I realized, wow, this is so beautiful. Nothing is going to happen to me because I'm with someone who cares about me sitting next to me. So in the same way, God is walking with you and is with you. So get out of your comfort zone and take a risk. So the commitment I hope you'll make with me is, if you're here watching, you're here in the room, and I want you to type or commit to, I would take risk. Now, don't take any risk. Let it be a calculated risk, but be willing to step out of the boat. Be willing to do something new. Be willing to try something new. And believe that all will work out. So one of the scriptures that is absolutely favorite, you probably heard me say here, a couple of them I have, and I'm a woman of faith, so I always lead with scriptures. It's Romans 8, verse 28, and it said, God causes all things to work together for our good according to His purpose. So it's going to work out. You're just going to have to take risk. So what does risk mean? It means making that phone call to the person that you've been admiring and thinking that person is going to be a part of that. Call them. Now, I know there's a woman on here I'm going to bring on, and she'll tell you she did that. She called me one day. I thought she was calling me to talk about, hey, I have an activity for her. By the time she's asking me my advice, before we know it, today we're here to even talk about some of the things that we want to do for my goal. Why? It was a risk to say, let me call and ask somebody's thought about something. And I'm not going to get into the details of what we talked about. That's not the point. The point here is that there was a phone call that was made to say, I just need to pick your brain. And that picking of brain resulted in ideas that we generated, concept that we're talking about. She has a vision, but sometimes the Bible says in a multitude of counselors, there's safety. What that means is that I need to know that I need to align with other people who are doing it. They may not be the answer or have all the answers, but you may ask a question. God will use them to yield a wisdom that you never even thought about. And so I want you to decide, you're going to make a phone call, you're going to talk to people, you're going to share concepts with them. If you heard me talk about my 7 principles to developing and maintaining a passion, one of the key things I talk about is share the passion, share your ideas, connect with people, because without it, you're not going anywhere. So we're going to go into 2023 taking risk. And in 2023, what I want to do is, and this is off the cuff also, I want to be able to bring each one of you on. Share with me, what are some of the things you want to do? We'll hold each other accountable. We'll make sure we do it together. So regardless of why you're tuning in or joining in, I want you to be out. I want you to hold me accountable. I'm going to write my book in 2023. And I'm asking myself, what time am I going to have it? God will make a way. But I am believing that there are ideas that God has placed in my heart that needs to come out. So if you're a writer and you're looking to partner with me, let's do it. Let's commit that by the end of 2023, we're going to have a tool, a product, an evidence of a risk that we've taken. For someone not listening to me, is going back to school. For someone listening to me, is starting that business that was a hobby, but it's really a business. And you just need to just decide. And somebody is listening to me and it's like, I have that business, but how am I going to fund it? Oh, do you know that there are chamber of commerces out there? There are connectional points that are out there. You just need to put your stuff out there and decide that you're going to do it, and you're going to do it now. If you're a special needs parent, you have a lot to share, because the things that you're going through that the average person can't even comprehend. And so you can use that platform of raising your loved one as an opportunity to say, I know what hardship is. Come talk to me. That in itself, let me tell you something. If you're going for a job interview, I bet you anything, if you share how flexible you have to be with your loved one, you'll get a job. Why? Because employers are looking for employees who can be flexible, who can be resilient. And that's what they're looking for. So oftentimes we're hiding the challenges that we have, when in actuality, the challenges are actually the platform for you to grow. The platform for people to say, I want to align with that person, because they're not going to give up when things get hard. So I'm throwing a lot of pebbles out there, and I'm hoping that you will come along with me. You will connect with me for us to kind of get that word out. So I am going to take a pause here for a minute and throw something out there. What are the key highlights that you've had in 2022? And as I'm throwing that out there, if you're on Facebook, I want you to type in your answer. Janet, if anybody's saying anything, just kind of connect me to that, because I want to hear from people. But what I want to do is also then highlight one of my favorite people. She is an amazing woman who I absolutely honor and respect and value. And, Janelle is an amazing woman who's raising 2 beautiful girls. And she's joined the My Go family. But beyond just joining My Go family, I was talking to her and we were brainstorming. It's one of my 5 a.m. Calls that I can think about, but I don't call people at 5 a.m. just so you know. It's just me talking to myself and all the things that are in there. And I'm like, what are we going to do for 2023 for My Go for the organization? I've been really, really asking that question. So I'm not just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Then I had the thought, just because I got some feedback from some of our families that we work with, that they want to do live and activities and things like that. And I'm like, I wonder if we could do something around the area of art. And I had reached out to this amazing woman. And Janelle, when I reached out to you, I think I left you a voicemail. I was like, your voice. Oh, and I was probably rambling. I don't even know what the heck I was talking about. Do you recall what I was talking about before yesterday's conversation? What was I talking about? Do you remember?
It was difficult to understand, but I know that you said you're thinking around doing art activities with families, and you're really interested in. I had sent you some photos of what's possible, and you appreciate the photos, and if we can do something, get some,
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I'm like, I wonder if we can do something. So she and I are going back and forth texting. And then finally yesterday we were talking, and it was almost like a creative session, right? Bouncing different
Yes.
ideas together. And out of that came the idea that the importance of and the value of creativity. And so this is an artist who also allows and engages individuals to express themselves. So I want you to just talk a little bit about your work, talk a little bit about how you got into your work, and then we can talk about what is the value of creativity, especially when I'm talking about the importance of taking risk. So, just share a little bit about you and your work and how we even got to the place that we are talking about right now.
Let me repeat. I will continue to take risks,
Mm,
because calculated risks, it's something that um I taught entrepreneurship skills for a while. I was
mm,
a director of studies at an art school,
mm,
and we know a lot of times we meet creatives, but they're not taught the business part of the creative industry. So we started to teach entrepreneurship skills. I was trained to teach that, and I taught young people and older people. One of my students, she was 82.
mm,
Um, sorry, 62. I'm thinking she's about 82 now, because I've been trained for 20 years.
mm.
It seems like a lifetime ago, but I've never started my own business. The pandemic happened, and it was interesting that the Holy Spirit laid on my heart. Remember that idea you had to create a space?
Hmm.
Everyone was leaving. That's what we were instructed to do. But I know humans need to meet,
Hmm.
and not always online. There are people that need that connection. And there are still spaces that you can meet after a while. There were guidelines with churches you can meet and this. So that was birthed in my heart during the pandemic. I was thinking a lot about it. And at one point I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. Lots of people are doing things and they're successful. Why not me? And I
Hmm.
have the background. I'm creative and I know enough about entrepreneurship skills to do my own thing. I took the risk. As you said, the two trains keep running.
Hmm.
It's beautiful, but it's so tough. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I started art. Funny story. I went to sign up for human biology and chemistry at my university, but I'm from a very small country. So they told me there wasn't enough kids to people to start a chemistry program. I had to wait for a year. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do in a year? I was already friends with the people in the art department. So the professor said, why not sign up for art? Well, all of that is history. Guess which one won? I
Wow.
didn't know how to tell my father because they sent me to the university to become a doctor. They got an artist.
Wow.
Um, so, and an interesting one because I was exchange student for 2 years. By the
Hmm.
third year, I realized it was too much of a financial burden for them. So I didn't go back for the third year. But it has been the best thing that happened to me because creativity is about the human condition.
Hmm.
And that is the greatest part.
Hmm.
We can talk about its saleability, we can talk about culture, we can talk about all of that. But at the end of the day, when someone engages
Hmm.
in art and even fine craft,
Hmm.
it it's a blessing to their mind, their body, their spirit. And they can't always put into words what happened, but you know that they left in a better place. And the longer I practice art, the more I appreciate that connection. We can't get it anywhere else. We know there's enough research done on its benefit. One of the struggle is it's still I think we will always have to advocate the same way we have to fight for people with special needs.
Mm.
And I was talking to a friend today. Her daughter is speech delayed, and she was talking about how difficult it is. I said, once you realize, and I didn't know this, I guess I was fired up after I met you, but you have to be your child's advocate. They
Mhm.
wanted to declassify Naomi. That was happening alongside everything this year. And I no, you want my class to come out? I told them no, it's not going to happen. When they were finished with all of, a lot of times they want you to back down. But I said it's not gonna happen. And I took them to the throne of grace. And last week I got a letter in the mail saying that, we have to inform you that she's still whatever and for the next 3 years. But I'm like, yeah, this is what I told you from the beginning.
Mhm.
So the gatekeepers, I had to say it's not going to happen. We would always have to advocate for special needs. We would always have to advocate for art. Because a lot of times the people that need art, they're not aware or the resources are so limited
Mm.
that we're not always able to apply it as a tool. Um, I've had quite a few exhibitions. I've done catalogs. I've done, setting up exhibition, all of that. It's great. It's exciting. Travel. It is. But I think the greatest part of what I've been doing is just ensuring that people are consistently allowed to create. And we might say, well, my goal art club has been birthed. Where are we going with this? What do you see? I see so much possibility and I'm excited. This is me. My tone is when I'm trying to put a little cap on it because I'm excited. Because I have the research. Naomi is 7 3/4. That's my daughter with special needs. And they told me she's not going to talk. She's not going to walk well. She's not going to dance. She's not going to. And everything they wrote on that list, that's what I started to do with her. And art has been, when you visit my studio, I have lots of work on the wall. And the ones that are outstanding very likely belong to that 7-year-old child with special needs. And her teacher told me that too. One day her teacher came to my classroom, she brought this drawing, they wrote the lion and the mouse. They read the story, they were reading it all week. So she said, okay, class, let's draw what we understand from the story. It's part of illustrating a story. Her illustration, I still have it. She was about 5 at the time. Outstanding. You see the lion, you see the mouse, you see the dandelions. You don't have to ask what story it came from. And I would always tell people, art was her therapy. She's only been getting ABA therapy since the pandemic. And every tool I can apply, I've applied it with her because I know it's an outlet. I know it's cathartic. It's cathartic. There's no question about it. So what I see, I look forward to my Goal Art Club, what I see happening is that we will have to adjust our plan. We would have to see how it works. They're going to run with a lot of those things. They may not run with some of it because it's sensory, because of the smell. There are things that we would have to fine tune, and every individual is going to be different. But the end result is that they are going to move forward. They're going to enjoy the process. They're going to want to come back. I have kids with special needs that come. They don't want to go home. One guy, he hides under the table when his friends come for him. And yes, we have to coax him, and he's going to be there tomorrow night. They look forward to the Friday night art parties. But they come and they create, and nobody wants to leave. And that's so special. It's so special. So yes, it has been an interesting journey, but it has been one that has brought me to this place where I can use what I've gathered to, create programs that people with special needs can really outshine. Outshine lots of times. Their peers and border. I have company. I'm so sorry. Yes, but I look forward to starting this project.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Janelle, for that. So what Janelle is talking about in our brainstorming session last night, I'm in the car and we're talking about how we can partner together and do some really great. And as you can tell, she's a mom with special needs individual who is excelling. And that's really what the vision of my goal has always been, is to, is this to support families facing autism and other intellectual disabilities or challenges throughout their lifespan. And the goal really is to restore hope that the individual, regardless of when they started in life and what the challenges may be, there is an intrinsic capability within them that has to be cultivated and has to be grown out. And they have to be exposed, they have to be educated, and they have to have experience. I call it a triple E effect. You have to expose the individual, you have to educate the individual, you have to allow them to have experiences. Without those three things in play, you'll never really truly discover what somebody's capable of. So now, part of our conversation, we determined that why don't we create what we call a My Goal Art Club. So part of what we're going to do in the first quarter of next year is really go on a journey, embark on a journey of really developing these art skills. And so if you're in New Jersey and you want to be a part of that, and you have a loved one on special needs with your sibling, we really want to hear more about it. Email us at info@mygoalinc.org, info@mygoalinc.org. This is going to be one of the activities that's going to be developing. We're also looking for other outlets. There's a lot of different things that we're planning on doing throughout in the year 2023. And, I'm just loving the ideas, because I'm just saying, God, there's more that we want to birth out. We want to birth out of these different individuals. And the key thing is really, really connecting to their purpose. And that's really, really crucial. So this is one of the things that we're planning for 2023. Things are still in flux and some of the things, the way we want to do it. But we're partnering with this amazing woman who herself as an artist, and you heard her. I mean, it came out of saying, you know what, if the doctors are saying my child can't do all these following things, the very thing that the doctor is saying they can't do, that's the things that I'm going to expose her to. Those are the very things that we're going to make sure she learns about. And those are the things that she'll get to experience. So like I said, we do what they call the triple E effect. Look to see that you expose your loved ones as many things as possible, not just to your loved ones, but even to yourself. We talked about taking calculative risk earlier, right? That's important. It's important to step out of your comfort zone and do something different. If you've always heard me talk, that's really where the desire comes in, because I really believe that in each one of us are talents that has not evolved yet. And we need to really, really, really get it out of our system. So don't be afraid, but you want to be able to get out and step out and do the things God has called you for. I was reflecting on the things that we did in 2022. And Janelle, one of the things that I was talking about earlier in the year, it was in May, was talking about our purpose in our pain. Our purpose in our pain. And sure enough, you're actually at our church. And tomorrow, Saturday, there's a screenplay that's going to be done, a production that's going to be done, and you're working behind the scenes. You want to tell us a little bit about what the title is? I'm going to shamelessly plug my church. If you're watching, yeah, I have an opportunity to do it, so I'm going to do it. It's called The Purpose. But before you talk about that, one of the things that I talked about the purpose in our pain is to make the point that whenever we're going through something that somebody has done to hurt us, or something that is not someone that hurt us, but it just life happened, in the midst of the pain, there is something that will be birthed out. Something that you go through that will come out of you if you don't allow the pain to be the defining moment. So we don't stay in the pain, but we look for the purpose in the pain, if that makes sense. And the illustration that I used there was the story of the man called Joseph, whose brothers sold him into slavery, and just basically were not happy for who he was, because he was proud. He was happy to be this favorite, daddy's favorite, and who didn't have wisdom to know not to share all his dreams. But the pain was that his brothers turned on him and almost tried to kill him. And he didn't allow that to change his character and who he is. So out of the pain, birth someone that has a character, and God used that to deliver his own people down the line. So the point there was, and as I was reflecting some of the many stories I've talked about all year, I went back to that because I started this session tonight talking about the challenges and also talking about the joys, right? And I was reminded that even in the spite of the challenges that we go through, the pain that we may be going through, there's a purpose behind it. And as we think about this season, and she'll talk a little bit about that production that we're doing, we're in it for most Christians, is the season of Christmas where we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. And there is a purpose in that birth because then we're assured of an eternal salvation, a place that we'll get to. So if you're listening to me and you want to have that relationship, I invite you to kind of learn more. On Saturday, we're doing this production at Agape House of Worship is in Roselle, New Jersey. So I really, really, really want you to key in and be a part of that. So tell us a little bit about your work and what you're doing behind the scenes at Agape House of Worship in Roselle, New Jersey. You're muted. You're muted.
Yes. We will be here on Saturday at 7 p.m. to welcome you. In the play, it's going to be through different genres of the creative arts, music, spoken word. Of course, there'll be lots of dancing and also performance. And it's a play that's going to focus on the subtleties of Christ's birth, like the people that we really don't see as really important in baby Jesus being birthed. Even sometimes rejection. There's no room in the inn. We hear that there's no room or no place for us. We're devastated. We're traumatized. You have a child with special needs, you know what that feels like. And it doesn't always go away. You might have a season, but there's a time when you're going to have to hear it again. It's like your child's okay, or we can't do it for your child, but the door is going to be closed in your face. So when I hear the purpose, it's not just what is written, but we really have to go within what we're going to be witnessing on Saturday and understand that Christ's birth, everything that lined up was in keeping with God's plan for Christ's birth. And it was not ideal. That's not who would want to have their child in a manger. We live in a modern world. We think that we're entitled. But sometimes we have to be humble enough to realize that we might just be, we could have been the innkeeper. We could have been keeping the sheep. We could have been, but Christ came so that we don't have to go through that anymore. My role is to make it come to life, the backdrop, to make it seem surreal. Because we're not in Bethlehem right now, but for 2 hours we'll feel as if
your sound is going out.
My sound is going off?
Yeah, it's better now.
Are you hearing me now? Yeah.
Okay.
So I stop at strange hours at night when all the building is done and just try to mimic whatever we're trying to create with colors and props and whatever. And yes, so I'm honored. I'm honored that, I'm capable, I'm able. It's hard to understand that not everybody has my skill. It's hard to understand. It's like a doctor thinking, why can't everyone be a doctor? I know you have those moments. Why can't you just figure this out?
Yeah.
And I'm a creative and I wonder sometimes why it's so, but I'm definitely honored to be here and to help the dream come true, to help the vision come through.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, if you're on Saturday evening, it's the 24th, you want to be able to be a part of what is happening at Agape House of Worship.
It's free.
It's free. It's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in New Jersey. Come out and be a part of, a great, great, great opportunity to know the reason for the season. And we really want people to be joyful in the season. We want you to be really excited for it. So come and learn more. And like she's saying, there is a value in listening to the story and then seeing how it applies to your own life. So if you're joining me tonight, I'm so thankful for all of you who joined me, in Karen, Precious, Lola Day, who have been a part of the discussion tonight and being in here. And of course, my favorites, inclusive of Pat, who's always here. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for enabling me to call you friend. I don't take those things for granted at all, to know that there are many, many, many people who are there for each all of us. And so we just want to be a blessing. And Pastor Nikkei is on Facebook telling you that great job, Janelle. So thank you for giving her a shout out, Pastor Nikkei. We appreciate that. So as we round up the end of the year, I just really want to just encourage all of us that we all have giftings. I know it's a season for gifts, and you just saw this woman describe gifting and bringing things alive. You also have a gift within you. And if you don't know what it is, there are many ways to discover that. Come and check out this art program we're talking about. Try something new. You never know. You might like it, and you might discover, wow, I didn't even know I could be good at it. I know the season of life may be difficult, but think about each month, January through December. Think about doing at least something new in each month. Something new. Expose yourself to something new. Go to a museum. Go to the gym. I don't know about the gym part. Okay, go walking. Do some exercise. Try a different flavor of ice cream, right? Try something new. And the point here is, let's be willing to allow creativity to come in and be exposed to something new. So I think that's really one of the key things that I want to highlight. And as we're rounding up to the year, I want to say thank you to all our donors, our supporters. Thank you for all of our people who have been a source of encouragement. The families, we love you. I want you to know that in 2023, there's great things that are going to be stored. You're going to have to tune in to our ongoing, this program will continue. I just sense that there's a value that God uses to bring on conversation. We're going to be talking about with different people about the things they are accomplishing, because I really want to other folks to hear what people are doing, and we'll do it together. If you have topics that you want us to talk about for Ask the Expert, I really want to hear from you, because we want to be able to bring you pertinent, important information that will enable you to continue to press through and do the things you need to do. And I just want to just appreciate all our board of directors. We have an amazing board. I have amazing advisory board members. I have an amazing team in Ghana called Haven International. We have all these great work that's been done. And next year, we're entering into our 15th year. And I just look at it and I'm like, wow. You just start something and it just continues. And every year try to think about how you can make it better. So we want to make people's life better, and we want you to be a part of us making their lives better. So I want to say thank you for being a part of this room. And thank you for really, really showing out this on this talk. And I know that people here that said, despite their challenges, they're going to enjoy the experiences. They're going to celebrate their highs. People say that they will take risk. They are not going to allow their past mistakes from hindering them from moving forward. They're going to expose themselves to something new. These are things that I've thrown out there, and I'm just highlighting it because I want you to write in your notebook, I am trying something new. And a year from now, I want you to go back and look to see what was the new thing you tried. That may be coming into the art studio with us. That may be going on some of the trips that we're going to take next year. Whatever it is, I want you to say, I am going to do something new and something different. I'm going to take a calculated risk. And as you do, I am going to as well too, and we'll come back together and share it. So I want to say thank you so much for joining us. And Janelle, thank you. I am looking forward to the programming that we're going to start. If you're interested in the art club for the kids, it's, email info@mygoalinc, mygoal, mygoalinc, inc.org. info@mygoalinc.org. Say you heard us talk about this tonight. You want to learn more about it and how you can be a part of it. Janelle, quickly, what are some of the art things that you think people can expect to be a part of?
I can't wait. I know one thing that we're gonna enjoy doing together is bead making with polymer clay, because it's so individual, but you have a similar end product. A bead can be organic or it can be traditional shape, but I know that's going to be exciting. You assemble whatever jewelry. I really I can't wait to do mosaic, where they'll paint on glass and we fire it and then we put together the mosaic. These are things that, every session is going to just be better than the one before. And
Awesome.
the joy of walking out with a product. Yes. Of course, there's painting. Of course, there's drawing, but there's so much more that we can do. I suspect that a lot of them are going to love needlepoint. It's going to take time for them to learn it, but when they get it, they're going to be unstoppable. So these are things that we're going to do together and learn together.
Awesome.
So sign up. Let's do this together.
Let's do this together. Awesome. Well, I want you to, put it out there. If somebody wants to reach you directly, and learn more and get private lessons, how could they find you?
You can find us on Instagram, Janelle Bell, CARC. You can follow and see what we do. Send me a message, or you can send me an email. Say my name, JYNELLBELLE, C Creative, A Arts, R Resource, C Center. Janelle Bell, CARC @gmail.com. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Awesome. Thank you, Janelle, for that. And I want to say thank you to everyone that came in. I love all of you. I hope you got some nugget out of what we shared tonight. Once again, the goal here really was just simple, to just remind you that there's gifting within you, and you need to be able to be willing to take risks to explore them. And as you do so, I know that you'll have a testimony or a story to share with us. So on that note, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Janet. Thank you for everyone that is part of the MyGo family. I love you, and we'll see you in 2023. So you can come on onto the other side with us in 2023. Enjoy the holiday season, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and try a new flavor of ice cream. I know ice cream in winter. Yeah, you can do that. Enjoy it all. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye-bye now.